market is constantly overheated and overpriced, and you shouldn't be buying today. Here's why. Guys, many of you may have seen this article. It says that new private home sales surge in October as market extends rebound. And also buyers sweep up almost 1,500 new homes in 3 weekend launches. Emerald of Katong, 99% sold. And wow, this one really mind-blowing because I guess the last time I ever see something that's 99% sold was, I think, easily like 10 years ago where J Gateway was actually launched. Similar situation, and bro, I was actually at Emerald of Katong. My dear client secured a 4-bedroom unit, so happy for them, and the hype was crazy. Even at the last 3,000 over queue number, right, buyers were still buying. And 2 weeks ago I was at Chuan Park. Likewise, the launch was extended all the way until night time. I think the ICs has to issue the options all the way until the next morning, or even 24 hours later they're still issuing the options. At this point in time, if you have already bought a property, you'll be happy. If you're still waiting to buy a property, surely this will be an article that make you very upset. Why? Because it just shows that maybe you have predicted the wrong thing and the prices didn't really go down. And today I'm going to do this video. Why? Because I want to share with you what you should be doing as a buyer and seller and my take in terms of the pricing of this development. Now, how this video is going to be done is, number one, I'll be sharing with you a rapid fire TLDR version of this article, my comments on price, and also why it is so hyped up, and last but not least, what you should be doing if you are a buyer and a seller. Before we go on, if you enjoy watching content like this, do me a favor by liking this video because it means a great deal to me. Thank you so much. Now, coming to the TLDR version of this article, basically it's just telling us that there are these 6 new launches over the last 2 weekends, and Emerald of Katong sold 99. The sales was really very strong, and looking at this article, the average launch price effectively brings up the average PSF of the entire Singapore in every single region, with OCR trading above $2,600 per square foot, the RCR selling at 3,600 plus PSF on average, and also CCR hitting close to $3,000 per square foot just over this weekend. And property developers in November unleashed an unprecedented lineup of 6 new projects, collectively offering 3,551 units, more than 2,485 new units marketed in first 6 months of the year. That means this time round, just the developers, but it actually is our government who is also rushing to sell. Why? Because today, if the government didn't want them to launch during this period of time, basically the controller of housing could have delayed the approval for floor plans and whatnot. But looking at the history, right, if this year the government did not launch all these units at this point in time, right, this will be the year that we will see the least number of new launch sales ever since year 2008. We saw 3,778 transactions in the new launch market itself, and after which, right, if you look at this table over here, there have never been a single year that has less than that. And this year we are trading on a thin line, really getting very close to that. And why the government is not allowing that? And the reason why the government will prefer all these launches to be done this year is not just to protect the overall sentiments of the market, but at the same time we are also trying to avoid oversupply in the market in the next year as well. I have this list of the new launches that will be selling next year, first half, and based on my estimates, there should be close to 12,000 new launches that will be launched in the year 2025. Just imagine these 6 new launches are not launched, means to say next year there will be expecting 15,000 new launches, and every single month you need to launch 1,200 units. Isn't that going to be crazy? Minusing off all the Chinese New Year, the school holidays and whatnot, where the developers will try to avoid, right? We technically have to launch like 3 to 4 new launches every single month. And trust me, if you are the government or you are the developer, you wouldn't want this head-on clash with so many projects launching at the same time, because it just hurt the pricing. So that's my take on this article. Basically, I will link them in the description to save you time. And the rest of the article basically is just talking about what kind of pricing, what kind of units. Just want to highlight one thing is the last time a new project saw near full take-up rate was in July 2022 when Amo Residences sold 98% of its 372 units. Speaking of Amo Residences, I have this example which I want to share with you. During the launch of Panorama back then in the year 2014, there were also people that saying that the prices were too high and you shouldn't buy. Why? Because back then a 3-bedroom, if you look over here, it actually cost $1.31 million. And some people wouldn't want to buy because if you look at Skyview back then was actually selling for a 3-bedroom unit 1.6 over million, and immediately tells people that Panorama Panorama is actually very expensive, and main reason why is because during the launch of Skyview, the 3-bedroom only cost $1.5 million. Why would anybody want to pay 1.4 similar pricing for a unit at Panorama, which is actually at Mayflower MRT? If I'm not wrong, the MRT station wasn't even ready at that point in time, so some people decided to skip. Fast forward in year 2022, finally there's one more new launch in Ang Mo Kio area, similarly at Mayflower MRT station. This time round it's called Amore Residences, 98% sold if you look at the article over there. And guess how much was the 3-bedroom units? The 3-bedrooms were actually selling at $2.179 million. And some people will tell me that never mind, that was 8 years ago. And by then, right, you will think back, if I actually didn't want to wait back then, if I chose to buy Panorama at that point, it was just much closer to the MRT station and the prices was actually at similar pricing. The prices were only at about $1.5 million. Fast forward 6 years later, you pay $2.1 million for a 3-bedroom unit. I'm not saying that you have to buy a new launch. Even if you decided not to buy Panorama but bought Skyview, you would have made a profit today. And if you have chosen to wait all the way until 2022, you'll buy somewhere further away from MRT station. And shortly, those people that didn't want to buy Amore Residences because it's $2,100 per square foot, right? If they waited a while more, they would have to buy Lentoria 2024, buying at about $2,100 per square foot. If they choose not to buy Lentoria, similarly for a 3-bedroom unit at about $2.1 million for Lentor because you think it's very ulu, then you would have been buying Woodlands today at similar $2,100 per square foot range. And what I'm trying to tell you over here is that if you decide to buy something cheaper to hedge against inflation, that is still okay. If you're somebody who's trying to time the market and hope that the market will drop, right, history have proven this doesn't really work. Most of the time you end up not buying anything. Earlier on I mentioned there are a lot of good options in the market in the upcoming year, and in fact currently there are a lot of good value buys in the post-launch market itself with more than enough price justification. So if you wish to check them out, give me a call. Happy to meet you for a consult. And you may want to read the article on your own. However, being there on the day, we actually saw the PSF of Emerald of Katong trade above $2,800 per square foot and people still buy. And the 5-bedroom starts from about $3.6 million. The high floor units went to about $3.8 million. The rest, go read it yourself. And let me know what you think inside the comments about these launches. Do you think the prices are super high, or do you think they're reasonable, or do you think no matter what you also won't buy? Now, coming to my comments about the pricing and also these developments, I would think that of course there's so much data to prove that they are not worth buying, and there's also a lot of data to prove that it's worth buying. And notably, I'll be using the OCR pricing. If it's a Chuan Park today, if you're complaining that the PSF for the 2-bedroom plus study going at about $2,700 per square foot is super high, how about you review the prices of places like, for example, Lentor area, where you see the 2-bedroom units over there selling at about $2,400 to $2,500 per square foot, and you'll be saying like,
oh, that is so expensive. Let's see how these owners will make money in future.
But bro, actually in year 2022, did you know that Lentor Modern already traded $2,500 per square foot on day one itself? So today at 2024, and you're still complaining that $2,400 per square foot in the OCR region is very expensive. Are you really looking to buy a property, or you're just trying to store your decision because of fear or because of past experiences? As for the RCR region, people will be saying that, oh, Emerald of Katong at $2,700, $2,800 per square foot, wow, that is so expensive. But did you know that Grand Diamond itself, today, if you want to buy the balance unit, you'll be paying about $2,500 to $2,600 per square foot, for likewise for the small or the bigger units, and the smaller units will go trade above $2,700. So long story short, there's more than enough data to back up the pricing for these current launches. Even Nava Grove today and OCR region, not near MRT, is already selling $2,200 per square foot. If you want to go and check out Nava Grove video, I've done one over here as well. And if you wish to understand what is harmonization, I've already done an explanation on during my Norwood Grand video. You can go check it out as well. So all in all, I wouldn't think that the prices are exorbitant, as with all the examples that I've given you just now. And is it expensive? Yes, it is. But why is it still fully sold? Because if you read the previous article, we said that it's a rebound. And for people that have been watching the market, you know that in 2023, the average PSF of new launches actually dipped. And many people will be telling, I'm waiting for the market to cool off. But 2023 was quite a cool market. The market wasn't that good. And in 2023, the new launch prices actually corrected for a bit. In 2024, with news of lowered interest rates, with the news that Donald Trump is the new president, with news that GDP has grown up, just brings in the renewed sense of confidence for buyers to come in and buy. And not to forget, buying properties is always time sensitive. So in a nutshell, is the prices high? Yes. Is it Unreasonable? No. And why is it moving so fast? Because of the three reasons earlier on which I mentioned. Next, based on past history, whenever GDP goes up, the property prices will usually follow. And the logic is very simple. When your pay increases, would you be more keen to go and look at buying properties? In fact, many people didn't realize that during the SARS, the GDP went up by 3%. It just tells us why people are more interested to come in. Higher incomes, lower monthly installment, and a more positive economic outlook, with Trump confirming as the president of America. And you'll be thinking, why the hell am I talking about President Trump when he's talking about Singapore property? The reason is very simple. You see an influx of capital flowing into the stock market and people making tons of money from the stock market. And as Singaporeans, right, it's quite normal that when you make money from the stock market, you'll be very afraid that, oh, will it be like another Facebook that will sell down all the way to $80? Will it be like another crypto sell-off? Most Singaporeans, the people, at least for me that I know, when they make money from the financial markets, many of them will prefer to actually transfer the capital into hard assets. And what I mean by hard assets would be like gold and real estate, which these two are items that will not turn into zero value overnight and still see a substantial growth. And most importantly, Singaporeans or Asians love their homes where they can treat it as an investment and yet family can still enjoy. By now, if you're still watching, can you do me a favor by subscribing to the channel, because the growth in subscribers just motivates me to do even more quality content and planning for you. Thank you. So down to what you should be doing as a buyer and seller, I always fall back to my 3 golden principles. Number 1 is to start saving and invest early. Next, constantly increase your asset net worth by upgrading to the next asset class. Last but not least, always try to have 18 months of reserve funds or a 20% buffer to tide through difficult times. So if you are a buyer and you have already sold off the property and waiting to buy in, hoping that the market will go down, if you are still very financially sound and if you are someone that knows really well how to trade the stock market, how to earn passive income from trading stocks and shares and whatnot, of course it will be good for you. Even if you don't buy, it's absolutely okay. Then you can continue being at your position. Why? Because the truth is that we will not ever know when the prices will go down. And even if we can time the market, there's a slight correction, you will never know when is the bottom of the market. All we need to know is that today, are you able to service the loan comfortably, and will you be in any situation having to sell off at a loss? And last but not least, you must know that this property fulfills the fundamentals of a good property investment that will appreciate over time. Remember, buying a property is never speculative, waiting for the price to drop and then you buy at the lowest. Most of the time it's proven unsuccessful for most people and ended up they did not buy anything at all. And this is purely based on my own observation, not saying I'm right. And if you are a seller, is there a mad rush for you to go in, sell and buy? I would think that yes, if you are someone that is thinking to buy in one of the new launches, especially next year 2025 first half, there are all these exciting new launches. If you wish to know more about these developments and what you should be doing, do give me a call. But I think that this is quite a good time for you to start to find a buyer. Why? You want a certainty that when you see the property that you wish to buy, you already have sold your place, because there are so many instances. Over the years, I always see clients messaging me for look at new launches. However, they didn't want to sell their property first. Ended up, they always have to wait for the next one or the next one. And is it okay? Absolutely okay, because the money is still there. However, we also need to note that today buying a property, you also depend on your TDSR, which is age sensitive. Means to say that as you grow older, the loan that you can actually qualify for will actually drop, assuming your income remains constant. That's why fundamental number 2, constantly upgrade to the asset class as soon as you can, not because of agent commission, but is to avoid being priced out like many other Singaporeans have. Last but not least, if you're an investor watching this, don't forget to remind yourself each time we are thinking that the financial markets is a better place to grow your wealth. Of course, I do my investing in stocks and shares and whatnot as well. I also buy insurance as a form of investment for future. However, I think that property is still one of the best form of investment because we can 4x our money, meaning to say you down pay a 25% to own a $1 million property. With a growth of 25%, you technically make 100% return on equity grossly. So if you have 2 names and you're only using one, or if you have a couple, husband and wife, and you only own 1 property combined, I will strongly recommend that you actually do your decoupling and buy 1 more unit so that you have 2 units going at the same time. And if you wish to understand what I mean by all these fundamentals, you can watch my previous video why I sold off my HDB flat to go and buy 2 properties, subsequently the 3rd, and then fast forward 3 years, 4 years down the road, today I'm actually staying in a $10 million property. Need any advice? Give me a call. Happy to assist you. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on notification bell because we post weekly real estate videos like this. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next week. Bye.